Hi there, this is Carolyn Mall, and I am the founder of A Totally Kick-Ass Life. This is video number 2 in a series of the 3 biggest investments that you need to be making in your life to create your own totally kick-ass life. So in the first video, I talked about the importance of fitness and nutrition and your physiology greatly affecting your psychology. And the second biggest investment that you can be making to create this totally kick-ass life is in your relationships. So people like you and me are wired for connection. We are wired to be connected to one another. And it's one of the basic human needs that every single person on the planet has, is to feel love, is to feel connected, is to feel seen, heard, significant, unique in their relationships. Now, the problem is that a lot of people are walking around feeling isolated or disconnected, depressed, like this is a need that isn't being fulfilled. So I have a couple tips for you today on how to create stronger relationships that you can start doing right now today. The first one, not surprisingly, is around communication. So many people, so many of my clients have a really hard time communicating their needs and their desires and their wants to their partners, to their fellow employees, to their kids. So here's a little tip, right? If you're having a hard time communicating with someone, understand that men and women communicate far differently than each other. Okay, so this is a brief overview, and I go way deeper into this in some of my other programs, but suffice to say, men, because you guys have so much testosterone, you guys are single-focused, problem-solving machines, and thank God, right? So when I'm telling you a story or when I'm explaining something to you as a woman, probably in your mind you're thinking one of two things. You're thinking, well, what is the exact problem, and how are we going to fix it? Now, women, on the other hand, we have this more diffuse awareness due to the high levels of estrogen that we have. So when we're listening and when we're communicating, not only are we talking, but we're making 2 lists in our head. We can hear what the kids are doing. We know that the refrigerator is open, and we're thinking about what's going to happen in 2 hours from now. We hear that there's water spilling on the floor, but we're still talking to you. And so sometimes women simply need to be heard. Even if we're having a problem, if we aren't asking you specifically to solve it, we're good. I know that's just about nearly gonna kill you. So ladies, it's our job to communicate exactly what we need up front. And gentlemen, it is your job to listen, listen, listen to our words, because sometimes that's all that is needed of you. So the communication piece, learning how to listen, learning how to be fully present instead of waiting for our chance to talk, instead of solving everything in our minds. That is one of the biggest gifts that we can give to someone else who we love and respect. It is the best way to build relationships, is to learn to be a better listener. The second piece in this whole puzzle, right, is not only are we wired for connection and we continually need to work on our communication skills, but we also need to understand that at the end of the day, one of people's biggest regrets is not spending time with people that we love. So when I say, work on communication, that ultimately necessitates spending more time with people that you love. But it's also telling them how much that we care. So sending a letter, sending even an email, calling someone on the phone for 5 minutes, going the extra mile just to simply reach out to someone today can make the biggest difference in someone's life, and you would never even know. Investing in your relationships, you guys, is one of the most crucial elements of creating a totally kick-ass life. Because a totally kick-ass life means that you are sharing it with people around you. You're communicating openly, excitedly, and with mutual respect. A totally kick-ass life means you don't have regrets. It means at the end of the day, everything that needed to be said was said. Everybody knows where you stood. You've said, I love you. And at the end of the day, that is one of the biggest investments that you can make in your own happiness and in the happiness of your family, your community, in your place of business, and in the world. So that is an investment that is easy to make, and the return on that investment is priceless. If you need a little bit of help and guidance with this whole thing, I have a 30-day program that I put together. It's called 30 Totally Kick-Ass Days. And during each of these 30 days, you develop a mindset of someone who is open to communicating, someone who is ready to make a difference in the world, someone who really, really puts the priority on helping others, on being of service, and on sharing your gifts with the world. Cool, huh? So you can click on a link below. You can check out my 30 Totally Kick-Ass Days program. And stay tuned, I've got one more video in this series about the 3 biggest investments that you need to be making in order to create a totally kick-ass life. So stay tuned, and I'll be back on video number 3.